Animal movement has been my secret for building and maintaining a functional body into my 40s. The best part is you don't need a gym or any equipment and you can get your workout in anywhere. There are so many benefits to training animal movements. Here are some of the big ones. These movements build full body strength by getting the whole body involved, with core and spine from shoulders to hands and even hips to your feet. But not only do animal movements build strength, they also improve your overall mobility, coordination, and cardio. Here are 5 animal movements I believe you should be doing for a functional body in your 40s and beyond. Our first animal movement is cat. And before we get into the basic crawling patterns of each of these movements, let's go over some of the positional fundamentals. To do what I call the cat squat, we're going to start off in the quadruped position, basically on our hands and feet. We're going to lift our knees about 1 to 2 inches off of the ground. Push the ground away through your hands, dropping your hips back to your heels. If you struggle with getting into a regular deep squat, this is a great alternative. You get the benefit of the full flexion in the hips, compression in the knees, and that ankle and feet mobility. Plus, as you rock forward, you get to put some load into the shoulders and your hands. To begin the cat crawl, we're going to be working in a contralateral motion. This means opposite hand, opposite foot. So right foot, left hand steps forward, and then left foot, right hand steps forward. A good goal to work towards is 8 to 12 crawling steps forward. And if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can even try crawling backwards. Our next animal movement is crab. Our foundation movement for the crab is our crab extension, or sometimes known as the tabletop. We're going to begin in a seated position, hands and feet on the ground. Then we're going to lift the butt off of the ground, and then we're going to extend our hips up towards the sky. Really want to push the ground away through our hands and feet and really open up the chest here. So squeeze those shoulder blades together, and again, work those hips all the way up to the sky until they are flat as a board. You can also play around with your hand positions on this one. So if you turn your fingers towards your toes as you press up, you're going to get a deeper stretch in the shoulders and also in the biceps. For the crab crawl, we're going to be working once again in a contralateral pattern, just like we did in the previous movement. So as the right hand steps forward, so does the left foot. And as the left hand steps forward, so does the right foot. Once again, you can crawl forward, and for a little bit more of a challenge, you can also crawl backwards. And once again, for this one, I think crawling about 8 to 12 steps forward and backwards is a great goal to reach for this one. The third animal movement is ape. For this one, we're going to be working in this deep squat position, and if you're still struggling getting into this deep squat position and your heels come up a little bit, that's totally okay. The foundational movement for this position is the ape stretch, which is a 2-part movement. Move into ape flexion by rounding the spine as you sink back into the squat and reaching your hands forward. To move into ape extension, we're going to come up onto our toes, bringing the heels off the ground and driving the chest forward, alternating between ape flexion and ape extension. When you're in the extension, play around with some upper body movements, as that's going to challenge your balance and really get the leg muscles firing. And if you lose your balance like I did here, don't worry about it. It's just part of the process. You'll get better over time. The ape crawl is great for shifting weight from the feet into the hands back to the feet, and it's a fun way to traverse terrain. Place your hands to one side of your body, shift your weight to your hands, and then hop your feet over to that same direction. Start out by taking little hops, keeping your hips low to the ground. And as you're getting more comfortable with the ape crawl, then you can begin raising your hips higher, putting more weight into your hands, and floating your feet, just trying to get a little bit of hang time. A good goal to work up to on your ape crawl is to sustain crawling around for at least 1 minute. Alrighty, the next movement up is the basic switch. This basic switch transitions you from the crab position to the cat position. Starting from the crab position, press the ground away with an opposite hand and opposite foot, balancing on these 2 points. The floating hand is going to come up and over as the floating foot is going to thread underneath between your balancing hand and foot. Continue the rotation until you find the cat position. Then reverse the motion to work your way back around to the crab position. It's important to work this switch in both directions to build the coordination on both sides. Once you have the basic switch down, then you can add some crawling steps in both positions before transitioning with the switch. The fifth movement is the horse stance, commonly practiced across many martial arts around the world and is known for building super strong legs and open hips. Bring your feet to double your hip and shoulder width. Lower your hips towards the ground into a squat as low as you can go. A great goal to work towards is trying to lower yourself till your thighs are parallel to the ground. A great place to begin your horse stance training is just to come down and up, in and out of the horse stance position as your mobility gradually improves. Then you can work on holding the horse stance for 10 to 30 seconds up to a minute. To take your horse stance training to another level, try the horse stance walk, keeping your knees bent, back straight, hips towards the ground, and walking in this position forward and backwards. This one really gets the legs and the muscles lit up. Once you're feeling confident with each of these animal movements, then a great challenge is to explore linking them all together into one free flow type of practice. These free flow type practices are fantastic for further strength building, increasing mobility, and developing more coordination and feeling better in your body. Plus, they add new fun dynamics to your workouts. There's no right or wrong in this free flow type of training. Just explore, play, and discover new ways to move your body. I had a fun time making this video for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it at least as much as I did making it. And if you did like this video, do me a quick favor and hit that thumbs up button for me. I greatly appreciate it. Let me know in the comments which of these 5 movements did you find to be most challenging. And to continue moving with me, be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you back here next time.